Hey guys, welcome back to the Hear Me Roar pod. I am Toby and my co-host is none other than the Kate Save, which you might know her from Shark Tank. She's also founder of BeFit Foods and picked up Telstra's Business of the Year award too. Kate?
Well, Toby, you've got a super impressive CV, 25 years in global commercialisation experience, and you founded Creative Cubes, Australia's leading co-working space and real estate business.
All right, let's get on with the pod. Welcome back to the show, Kate.
Hey, Toby.
How are you?
Very good.
Yeah?
We've got another basketball fan
excited.
on the show.
I'm so excited. And I apologise in advance if this show goes for an extra 35 minutes over and above the 45 minutes. But there's a lot to talk about. But what's happening in your world?
I've got some news. So
Okay.
Just a couple of weeks ago, we had a world first study published in Cell Medical Journal on BeFit Food.
Yeah.
So it's not named BeFit Food in the study, but we're behind it.
Yep.
And it compared whole foods to synthetic bars and shakes diets.
Yep.
And what it shows is, of course, you lose weight no matter which one you do. But when you lose weight with whole food, you maintain your muscle mass better, so you don't lose the muscle around your glutes or your butt. That was the measurement. You actually improve your gut microbiome, so it's 45 beneficial bacteria that improved, and you get better what they call metabolic flexibility, so your body's ability to go between burning body fat and burning carbohydrate. So leptin, your appetite signals, all of that. So the in and the outs of that for people that are not technical is our body can see ultra-processed food and goes, this is not food, this is rubbish.
I always think about those little guys inside of me going, oh my God, not this stuff again.
Not this again. You are literally starving us or killing us.
Yes.
And this is the world first study to show that if you use supplements instead of food, your body can tell the difference.
Yeah.
We thought that our forebrain thought if we could read a nutrition information panel and put the right calories, carbs, protein, our body wouldn't know the difference. And this study shows, it does.
It does.
And it's disastrous for health.
So super interesting. Yesterday, I had the privilege of picking up my little Harper from school. Sim's actually in Queensland this week, traveling with her dad.
Yeah.
And there's a cafe over the road from school. And I tell you, 100% of the time, as we're walking past on the way home, Harper's like, Dad, can I get something? Can I get something? Like, Harper's, we're in a hurry, babe. I can't do it. So I got there a little bit early and I was like, you know what? I'm going to prevent the headache today. I'm going to pre-buy a little lolly bag for her. So I go into the shop. It's 3 sherbet things for $1, 5 snakes for 75 cents.
It used to be 5 cents.
Yeah. So like the bag wasn't expensive. It was like a $3 bag of just stuff.
Yes.
Anyway, I held her behind my bag. She comes out, says, Dad, gives me a hug. And I go, hey, babe, here's a little bag. She says, oh my God, you're amazing. And then so I'm walking back, we're holding hands. I go, Harps, I'm not sure how I feel about this bag. I said, I'm so conflicted. The bag makes you happy.
Yeah.
So that makes me happy. But I'm poisoning you with crap when I'd really just love you to just have wholesome, healthy foods. She's like, Dad, I'll go home and I'll eat a whole bunch of fruit. I go, it doesn't counteract, babe.
It sort of does. So if you have the fibre that's in the natural fruit and veggies, you'll feed your gut bugs. So what I say to my kids is if they ever want to have junk, you are taking a carrot with you or an apple with you.
Right,
and then
balance.
if you're going to go through the drive-through, that needs to be consumed to feed what really matters before you put this toxic waste.
So 10-year-old Harper had one on me there. Anyway, I gave her to her. She was so happy. It made me happy. But I'm like, oh man, I don't like the stuff that she's consuming right now.
Yeah.
But in moderation.
Okay, so it's what we're not eating that is the problem, not what we're eating.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so there's another way of looking at it.
All right, Cheeks, we're going to have some chocolate later this afternoon. So really excited. Matt Nunn.
Yes.
Basketball god.
Coach,
NBL1. Son plays for Jack Jumpers and other ones living in the US, playing college ball. I'm sure this pod's going to get out of control, but I'm really excited to have Matt on the show. But first, a word from Rise.
Guys, I want to introduce you to Rise, a business cohort like no other. So what is the Rise Network? Rise Network is a curated inner circle of 10 to 12 like-minded peers designed to provide a confidential, high-trust environment where business owners and leaders can gain strategic insights, actionable solutions, and lasting relationships. Rise isn't just networking, it's a game-changing business support system. It has strategic problem solving built in, expert facilitation, actionable insights, long-term impact and authentic relationships, and it's based exclusively around high-trust cohorts. For your membership, you gain full access to Creative Cubes. That means you can drop in when you're on the run to use the meeting rooms, breakout spaces, or even just dock in for the day. We wanted to serve the underserved, the people that do need the help, do need the support, don't necessarily have the funds to be able to do it, and don't necessarily fit into one of these other organizations. And so that's where Rise kind of came from. So there you have it, guys. Go to werise.au, and I hope to see you at one of our cohorts soon.
Matt,
G'day.
an absolute privilege.
I should have warned you about what a big fan Toby is.
Well,
but
yeah,
here we
we
are.
love basketball. In fact, we had Gabby Leibovich on last week, and Gabby was the founder of Catch.com.au, which now kind of went to the toilet after the purchase from West Farmers. And we were talking about, I can't even remember what we're talking about now.
Culture and
People and stuff like that.
The importance.
Yeah, I've drawn a total blank because I was trying to bring it back to Matt and the parallel, but inspiring people. Gabby said that, he's not a graphic artist, he's not a legal guy, he's not a this, he knows how to buy and sell, and he knows how to deal, and he was wildly successful. I'm still learning. And for me, I'm actually not college educated. I studied podiatry. I haven't got anything on nutrition. I get a lesson every podcast from Kate. But I run a really, really successful business. And people are like, how do you do it? And really, at the essence, I'm just X's and O's, man. I'm just offense and defense. My offense team is my sales team. If they're scoring, get on the ball as much as they possibly can. And my defense team is the hospitality staff that you met when you walked in. And really, I'm running the company like a basketball team. I'm happy to carry the bags, sit on the sideline. You'll find me sometimes sweeping the event space or
Water boy.
Carrying the water, whatever needs to happen. So long as we get the win, there's this complete self-sacrifice here. And my theory in business is 100% from the theory of basketball.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably draw some parallels to that as well. It's probably the thing I enjoy about basketball or coaching is the ability to transfer, I guess, leadership and mentoring people.
Yep.
From a work sense. I think that kind of directly relates into the basketball sense as well. So, I think it's probably, most CEOs or a lot of CEOs perhaps would make really good coaches outside of that.
Yeah. My friend Josh King, he's an absolute energy bug on the sideline. The team was up 30 points against Wollongong last week. We have like 6 minutes to go in the fourth, and he's making everyone full court press. Like it just wasn't good enough. What's your coaching and leadership style?
Well, I don't drink a lot of Coke before a game, so perhaps I don't jump around as much as like
Josh
that.
has like 9 coffees a day apparently.
Yeah, no, I think most of the preparation for a game, like similar to work, I think it's done within the practices prior to the game.
Yep.
Realistically, you might be able to pull a few levers here and there, but if you haven't done the work prior to that, when you get into the game and the pressures of competition, it's not going to happen.
Yep.
So I probably live a little bit like that, that we've got the levers to pull if we need to, and it's more about that.
Yeah, amazing.
You played professionally as well, didn't you?
Well, that might be a little bit of a jump, but I played in the old SCABL.
Yeah.
At Ballarat, probably 2 or 3 teams, but we were pretty successful there with Ballarat with Brendan Joyce coaching.
He was an amazing coach.
Eric Cooks, Damon Lowry, Eric Hayes. I think we won 3 national titles.
Wow.
Jeez, that's an amazing lineup.
Yeah.
What position did you play?
Centre half bench.
Okay.
No. I was a guard. I was a shooting guard.
Yeah, I'm a 2 guard too.
Yeah. So,
And what about your sons?
they're point guards.
Okay.
So a little bit smarter than what I was perhaps on the basketball court.
The point guard is really the leader on the floor, really. I mean, they're taking instruction from coach, but they're setting the play. They're calling the play. They're setting the formation.
Yeah,
So
100%.
they're getting leadership through you, like
Yeah. I think, can it be learned? Yes, it can. But I think there's
innate.
some people can do it and some people can't as
Yeah.
well. So, I mean, I think that position as a whole has changed a lot. As kids are brought up, everybody wants to score the ball.
Yeah.
But I think from a coaching element, and I think you can see quite easily, coaches really appreciate guys that are prepared to get other guys involved. And make them better.
It's team sport, right?
That's right. And I think that's probably where the US market and the players there, they probably think a little bit more about themselves. So the Australian kids, I think a lot of them going over, they probably think more so that way.
Question for a friend. So a friend of mine's got a son who is 17 who's playing over college basketball in the US at the moment. He's not as tall as everyone else and he's worried, will I be able to stay on the team? So he's putting in twice the work of anyone else because he's not genetically blessed with height. Is there a place, can you be successful without the height?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Damon Lowry is a great example.
Yeah.
Damon Lowry is an example. My son is 5'10".
Yeah.
One of my sons is 5'10".
Okay.
So if you've got the skill
Yes.
and the smarts and the
Yes.
know-how, I think that makes up for a lot of things.
Amazing.
One of my mentors from a coaching point of view said you can only have one dummy on the court at a time. So smart players, whether they're tall, long, short,
Yeah.
I don't think it matters. I mean, most coaches will want the smart kids.
That will be so
guys.
reassuring for this parent who let her 16-year-old go by himself to America, leave home, been there a year and a half and yeah.
I did it. Actually, was on a team called the Sydney Slammers, which was a high school team, and we travelled from Spokane, Washington, down to San Diego and played against teams along the way.
Yeah.
I refer to myself as a 5'10" white Jewish body trapped in this body. I've got the heart of a lion, but I'm trapped genetically. It's probably because I'm not as nutritionally conscious as my co-host here.
I feel like genetics definitely play a role when it comes to height.
But I love the game. In fact, Harper, she's my 10-year-old daughter. She's this weekend will be her 4th game that she's played.
Right. Okay.
She's been watching Phoenix for a few seasons now, sitting on the sideline. She's been playing soccer because of the success of the Matildas. Horrible soccer player. She's beautiful. She scored 1 goal in 3 seasons. My wife is still somewhere up there, like jumping because she jumped so high in shock and joy. But Harper actually, she scored 8 points. They won 22-8 last week.
Yeah.
She had like maybe half a dozen blocks. She's like the tallest kid on the team. My sister and I, we were shooting guards. My sister's about as tall as me. But Harper seems to potentially be a center, well, she's playing center at the moment because she's so tall. And so I got a text message 2 nights ago. Hi, we're re-registering kids for the next year's soccer season. Here's the link. And it was from the team manager. So I turned to Harps like, Harps, soccer? Or are you going to say basketball? Dad, I'm done with soccer. I'm all in on hoops. So I quickly messaged Alice Kunik, who plays she's playing in China at the moment. We've had her on the pod.
Yes.
She's played in the WNBL. Opal as well, and said, may need your help here when you get back. I want to sharpen Harper. But game, man. It's one of the best games to play at a junior level.
No, yeah. I mean, it's the number 1 participation sport in Australia. And it's, it lasts for an hour. So I think you're sort of in and out pretty quick.
Indoors.
So
Much better. My kids in gymnastics, 10 hours a week of training, let alone 5-6 hours of comps.
Yeah, but I've been in the depths of winter in Melbourne, Victoria, on the sideline on a Saturday or a Sunday, cheering the girls on, playing soccer, and it's bucketing down.
Yeah, fair enough.
So this is a privilege to quickly scoot from the car into a warm stadium and sit there and watch them play.
Now, your media company. So you've got Nunn Media, one of the biggest media companies in Australia. Not many people, I think, unless they're in this space, would necessarily know. So how do you fly under the radar?
Well, going back, the business started with 2 or 3 people. So it was under the radar for a long period of time. So, but I think, with a lot of global, companies operating and always had sort of the most market share here, it probably wasn't wise to stick your head up because you'd get it knocked off as well. So, I think, we've quietly gone about our business over the years. It's probably only in the last 3 or 4 years where we've probably been a little bit more media savvy with what we do. But I think, the holding companies probably aren't as strong as what they used to be.
Yes.
And we're seeing sort of huge consolidation at the moment within our industry.
So for those that have no idea about Nunn Media, can you just give us the elevator pitch on are you buying?
Yep. Okay. So the elevator pitch is there's 2 parts of advertising.
Yep.
There's the ads and there's the media. So we're on the media side.
Yep.
So we literally have our clients, we strategically recommend what mediums they should use or combination. We'll devise a strategy based on generally insights. And then using that, we'll go ahead and buy the media to basically whatever their objective is. And normally it's to increase sales or perhaps it's brand awareness or whatever, but we'll design it to basically complete those KPIs.
Yeah, amazing.
And you've got a new element to your business with personal branding.
Yeah. It's probably, one of the biggest trends, and I kind of picked up on it a few years ago. And actually, Kate, you do this pretty well, by the way. You're probably ahead of your time a little bit with everything. But with what's happening in the US, what we've seen, a lot of CEOs and a lot of businesses in the US, the CEOs are actually going about personal branding. So not corporate branding, but their own. And basically, with the objective to be seen as being the expert within the industry. So we're seeing a lot of that and a lot of companies in the US sort of specialising in that sort of area. So
how does that fold into basketball, if at all? Like you've got athletes that you've just reeled off a whole bunch of great names that are doing really great things. Do you get around them and put opportunity for manage their profiles as well, or is it just? No,
we don't. We don't. This is probably the mainstream corporate probably looks down on personal branding for their management. And if I was to come out and be all over YouTube and social media in our industry, people would probably look down at me.
Sure.
But
is that because they're protecting their brands?
It's not something that's been widely done.
Yeah.
No, but don't you see Go. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a little bit of, I guess, self-promotion, which in Australia there's that tall poppy syndrome as well, that people like to cut people down a little bit. So, but like I said, you've got people online now, the brands that you've never heard of. And some of these kids, 24, 25-year-old, are making $2, $3, $4 million a month online now. Yep. So I think...
Do you not see that as an opportunity, a segment within your organisation to take some of that talent and help them build, no different to a brand, but help them build their own profile through the assets and media that you represent?
Well, generally speaking, the guys or the girls that are doing that, they've cottoned on to this. So they're already promoting themselves and then establishing themselves as the expert in the industry. And therefore, it's not necessarily a sales pitch. It's actually customers gravitating to them.
Yes.
So it's kind of a reverse engineered way of obtaining new business in a lot of sense. So, I see that and as a massive opportunity for people. And in today's age with AI, it's very disruptive. It's probably one of the times where a small player can actually jump up and compete with a global business.
Yes.
There's so many opportunities in market for everything that I see and do. And, I'd like to think that I am a bit of a student of business, and I'm always looking at, what's happening online and elsewhere. And I would say some of these young kids are actually changing the way that we do business.
Agree. The App Store sort of was the tip of the iceberg, right? Where you could come up with a cool app and send it through the store and have this global distribution to billions of devices. This podcast is another great example of that.
Yeah,
we've got amazingly talented people mixing it up for us, but I get that file and I upload it to Spotify and it gets distributed globally. And we got people listening in from California and Atlanta.
Yeah.
from our little studio here in South Melbourne.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal.
It is. I mean, I was investigating something the other day, and I was chatting to a kid. He was 21.
Yep.
And I said, "So how much money do you make?" And he's what they would deem as a closer.
Yep.
And he said, "Oh, this year I should make 550,000." And I said, "How old are you?" He's 21. And I said, "What do your mum and dad say about that?" Mum's pretty happy. I bought her a car.
Incredible.
So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for everybody. So it kind of, I think it's flipped business around. Even universities, like some of the jobs that we have today, are they going to be there tomorrow? Or how are they going to change? What skills will you need here, or what skills will you need to acquire for tomorrow? Like, it really is an interesting time.
You know, AI is going to make 100 times or 1,000 times the millionaires than the dot-com bubble ever did, because access, distribution, systems, processes. You know, I dream of the day where I've got a fleet of Teslas driving around, picking your kid up when he comes into Australia, or anyone really, from the airport, and driving them home while I'm sort of cruising down whatever I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
And these things are just making money so that my time is mine, and not the electricity company and the school fees and the this and the that one, right? It's huge. I mean, we're doing it, Kate. Like, people are dialed in. They're listening to Matt's story now. They're listening to the Gabbies. They'll hear Ethan, and they've heard from Josh and tons of others. Like, this is a very powerful medium. I mean, James, you speak about this quite a bit. You know, the power of the US election. That wasn't advertising. That wasn't Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah.
That was podcasts.
Yeah.
That was engaging an audience that had never been spoken to before.
Are corporate brands getting into that? Some of your clients?
Into podcasts?
Definitely.
Podcasting is definitely, you know, from an advertising standpoint, you can align yourself to a niche, whatever that may be. So, it's big space and plays a strategic role.
Has social media and the influence on social media affected or been a lever for you guys in order to grow?
Yeah, I mean, social media's been around for a long time. I mean, if I think way back to the year 2000, digital probably represented 1% if you're lucky. And it hasn't been all of a sudden switch.
Sure.
It's gradually grown and grown and grown and grown and grown. And, you know, I think roughly it's about 67 to 70% of every dollar that's spent in the country now is digital-based media.
Yeah, amazing.
Whereupon years ago, like I said, 2000, so it has come a long way. The US is a little bit more mature. It's probably about 85, 90%.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And that's where we're going.
You know, we're entrepreneurial led. I'm no longer the CEO of my own company, but Michael is still quite entrepreneurial in his leadership. And we kind of went off the path a little bit, as you normally would as being an entrepreneur. And we did traditional media versus digital media. We had a really hard time qualifying the outcomes because digital, I can just go to my analytics and tell you exactly who, what, where. I can tell you the lifetime value of the customer based off a single ad that was like distributed 7 years ago. I can tell you how much tail that's given us. Traditional media, I mean, QR codes are one thing, but like, you know, we did some local advertising. We just launched Balaclava, rooftop basketball court if you have short of a court and need to.
I might be a bit old for that, but I'll tell you.
But we did some ads in a local paper. I can't qualify whether the click.
Yeah, I mean, there is 100% still a place for what we call traditional based media.
Yeah.
TV's, you know, still a champion.
Really?
From a brand awareness standpoint. You know, the viewing is still high in certain areas. News, sport, you know, very powerful.
Sure.
From that point. So I wouldn't say, you know, press is obviously having its, has had its time.
Yes.
The rivers of gold have dried up.
I think so.
But radio's solid, you know, still represents, I think, about 10 or 12% of every dollar.
Actually just got a proposal this morning from SEN.
Yep.
Still working on that distribution program for us.
That's right. I'll have a look at it before I go.
I do think they're a strong channel, though. Like you said, sport and people.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, from a TV standpoint, and this is the probably the biggest concept to grasp in, I guess, advertising is there's conversion-based media where you're trying to get an outcome of a sale or whatever it may be. But that conversion will work a lot stronger if you have brand awareness or a higher brand awareness.
Yes.
And the only way to get brand awareness is to use awareness-based media.
Yes.
And awareness-based media, I mean, going back, it was TV and TV only.
Yes.
Obviously a little bit non-visual with radio. So it's still there, but we still watch TV, but we watch it in different ways.
Yes.
So we have, linear-based TV, but we have online video in all different shapes and sizes. We have pay TV, we have YouTube. So it's more of a consolidated, TV, modern TV viewing, the way that we so from a targeting standpoint, all that means is it's a little bit more difficult to target, but we need to pepper the path across all those channels to get that awareness. Yeah.
What about like the bus shelters and the trains and the billboards, that sort of media? Who is that for, and how often is that sort of used?
I mean, we've had some fantastic results with probably more large format media in that, and generally combines really well with radio, amongst other things. But if you hear, the radio commercial or whatever it may be, and then you see a big branding sign, it gives the perception, obviously, that must be a big brand. But also it can be geographically specific as well. There may be, something click nearby or turn left or whatever, directional from that point. So, I think outdoor, since they flipped from static to digital, I mean, that industry has had all types of growth.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You want to be able to measure. What gets measured gets changed.
Yeah. True.
Let's flip back to basketball, please. You're a coach at NBL 1 team, Knox. You've had a lot of success there.
Yes.
Any desire to step it up and go into the pros?
I don't see myself doing that at this point in time. So it's probably, it gives me a time to probably relax away from work.
Okay.
So I think for me, it's probably more that. The time commitment that would be required would probably take me away from other things. But, down the track, who knows, what it can lead to.
Totally.
But, at this point in time, probably happy with what we're doing.
Do you have a favourite NBL team?
I do.
Do you want to share that?
Probably it's Melbourne United. So I sort of, have a corporate box there and have for probably the best part of 10 years.
Yeah, amazing.
But, I probably, a lot of the players I've coached as well. So I probably follow the players a little bit more.
That's good. That was what I was going at. You've got a lot of people follow the player these days versus the team. As the player jumps, the fan jumps to the team.
Well, that's the personal branding, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
can be.
Yeah. But no, the NBL's interesting. They've done Larry's done absolutely fantastic job in promoting the league. I think it's all-time high. I think, now's probably the time to view it a little bit differently, though.
I agree.
On every team now, we have 3 American imports. We have a next star and 1 or 2 New Zealanders on a team. And really, you got a team of 10 or 11. That's half the spots made up. So for development of the sport, for the young kids coming through and perhaps older players staying in there till they're 35 and what have you, makes it very hard for young players to get a start with only, what have we got, 8 Australian teams at this point in time.
10.
10 is it?
10 teams in the NBL?
10, yeah. New Zealand.
Sorry, you're right.
Probably not being one. But yeah, so I think, and the other thing is, we're seeing with the amount of American coaches coming in here as well. I would way prefer some Australian-based coaches to get an opportunity and chance.
Well, actually, my question was somewhat indirect related to that.
Yeah.
Like, we do have a lot of American coaches. You've got Justin Tatum in Wollongong. You've got Josh King here. Brian's Australian, but originated from America, from the Sydney Kings. But you want other people to step up, but you're just satisfied playing at the NBL One League.
Well, that's not me. That's me. But no, I think
but if everyone's saying that,
there are, but they're not. There are a lot of really good coaches.
Yep.
That have to go overseas to get roles now.
Wow.
So I think, and are the American coaches better than the Australian coaches? I don't think so. For example, Brendan Joyce.
Brendan's amazing.
He at Wollongong for 14 or 15 years, won championships there on budgets, probably half of other teams.
Yep.
But has to go over to Asia to coach and probably makes 4 times more than he would in Australia. But if I was the owner of a NBL team, he would be the first, whether he was the head coach or a head of basketball. And it's funny, in Asia and in America, they actually, if you've got grey hair, they're more likely to look at you. Whereas in Australia, they want younger, more inexperienced coaches.
But we don't have an issue, but the issue is that Australia on a per capita basis is the number one country outside of the US for NBA game time or NBA app.
Yep.
What do they call it? League Pass?
Yep.
League Pass subscriptions. So like the NBA has marketed itself so well that everyone just wants to watch and be a part of that NBA experience. Australia, what Larry's done really well is he's built a league that is regarded globally as the second best league the best league outside of the NBA, second best league globally. People can argue about that, but that's sort of like, that's the trajectory and what's happening there.
Yeah.
Then you've got the Next Stars program, which is a feeder to the NBA, where kids are potentially not going to the college route, although now the money is really compelling and now above board. So that's a rivalry. But we just had the New Orleans Pelicans in Australia. My gut tells me, and I'm happy to go on record and say this, I reckon the NBA is going to buy the NBL. And so everything that Larry and the team are doing right now, and I don't know any more than you know, but my expectation or assumptions are, if we're the number one subscriber outside of the US, we are in Victoria alone, in your region, the Knox region, 25% of all basketball players registered in Australia reside in the southeast suburbs, or the Knox. Knox is one of the leagues in the southeast suburbs. We're 3,000 basketball courts short at a junior level in Victoria based on demand. So everything's pointing towards, and then you've got the US and Australia in terms of like government and, allies, and they love each other. I lived in America for 10 years. I've never met an American that doesn't love an Australian, and everyone wants to get around the Australians, and all the Australians want to get around the Americans. So like, there's this intertwine, and Larry's trying to build a league that, he's a businessman, so I expect at some stage he'll exit out of it. The league is maturing. So as a founder, like if I walk in my own shoes, I founded my own company, but I'm no longer the CEO because the business is now beyond the launch and beyond the startup, which is where I get my thrills. And so now it's in the hands of an executive CEO that can run an organization like an organization. So I just feel like there's this trajectory here. And the more we bring the New Orleans Pelicans and other NBA teams through Australia, and there was a Euro team that came through as well. They played doubleheader in Sydney a couple of weeks back. I just feel like we Australia, the NBL, we want to be like that because it is such a great, like the NBA is.
Yeah. And I do understand that. However, what underpins that is development of our youth within the game. And if you don't offer a pathway for them, i.e. from the NBL 1 into the NBL, and there are no positions available, then you basically, there's no progression. Yeah,
so I agree with you 100%. There's no buts for me or alternatives. I fully agree with you. The NBL was in the toilet 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And Larry's pulled it out
100%.
to do what it is today,
and I'm
right?
not knocking down.
No, and I'm not either.
Unbelievable. Like
But-
what he has done for the league is absolutely and I don't think anybody else thought anybody could resurrect it other than him.
Yes. So, however, like any startup, you have to, like, your business has to mature. You can't keep doing the same thing you were doing at $1 million of revenue that you are doing at $50 million of revenue. Like, there's got to be a change of the guard. There's got to be an advance of the business. And maybe the NBL is coming to that.
Yeah.
Over time.
It's probably, I mean, the NBL is obviously commercial. It's a business.
Yes.
So perhaps that falls on Basketball Australia because, you know, at the end of the day, Basketball Australia is there to produce Olympic teams to win medals. And if I was Basketball Australia, I would, if you want the license, then you can only have X amount of international players within the team.
Yeah.
Is that the same with the women's and the men's teams?
No.
Okay.
Different rules.
Different
for those
beast, yeah.
competitions.
Okay.
I will say this though, we've got 14 or maybe 15 Australians in the NBA this season. So that makes it really exciting for the Boomers. I think from a North Star perspective, I mean, I'm fortunate enough that I get to hang out with the likes of Alice Kunick on the frequent and Harper and my other daughter Maddie, although Maddie's a sporty girl, but she's more music and theatre. Harper's a basketball head. You know, they get that as inspiration. But to have those NBA, like the Joshes, the Josh Giddeys, the Dyson Daniels, soon to be Dash Daniels coming up into the NBA, that's got to be a North Star for kids. I do agree that the rules potentially have to change a little bit so that you can create more space on your roster for Australian kids. But in terms of like aspiration, you know, I was sitting courtside last week and JaVale McGee's dunking all over the place against the Phoenix.
Yeah.
So, you know, the guy won 3 NBA championships and he's playing in Melbourne, Australia for the Wollongong Hawks or Illawarra Hawks.
I agree with you, but if you think about it, somebody like a Chris Goulding, what if he never got an opportunity? What if he was in an
so I agree that the rules need to change now.
You're
maturing.
So my point is, what if there was 28, not 14? So that's probably the angle that I would come from. But
all right, Larry, Nicola, Dave, if you're listening, we have a message for you. No, I'm just kidding. Look, those guys have done a phenomenal job. And I'm actually grateful to Larry. I sat with Larry. I had dinner with him a couple of weeks ago, but he came to me at a United versus Phoenix game. I was like, mate, look how many people are here because of what you've been able to do. Like, I'm really grateful for that. But we do need to advance the ball. We can't keep doing what we're doing. What got us here is not going to get us up there. And so it's changes along the way, iterations, like any good business.
Yeah. And it's evolved so much. Like,
yeah, it does.
And even, you know, the work into the NBL one, like it's a very good league now. The South, I would say, is very, very strong. Yeah. But the game presentation has picked up, the streaming services, like the numbers seem to be through the roof. So, you know, I think it's in a good place, basketball, and we'll keep rising.
Sounds good.
I'd love to see you become an NBL coach, just by the way.
Next episode.
Mate, thank you for coming on. We're going to link all of the details, Nunn Media, and how to get in touch. Thank you for your time. We're going to hear from Luna, and Kate and I'll be back after the break.
weareluna.co is a great place for you and your business to start off with phenomenal accounting and legal services. So if you're a startup or a scale-up looking for legal and finance support, or alternatively looking to raise capital, weareluna.co is where you need to be starting off.
I knew it. Basketball fan. So good. I learned so much about basketball.
I'm going to get you to a game.
Yes.
I think I could turn you.
Yeah.
I think we love the Melbourne Victory. Are you going to the Victory Tasmania trip?
Probably.
I was thinking about going.
Yeah.
I might.
Yeah.
I'm trying to free up a bit. I've got to be in Sydney, so it's like I've got a bit of a conflict of schedules.
Any of these sports organisations that run these trips, they know how to throw a really good event. It's pretty much a party.
Yep.
It's great connection. I think that sporting spirit comes into business, and that's what makes the Victory so strong.
I couldn't agree more. I love basketball. I mean, I get around the Victory. My girls were really into soccer. Marco and the crew at Victory have been phenomenal to me and the girls. More to the girls, but equally amazing to me. But I love the game of basketball. You know, my girls will have a dummy spit on, you know, said evening, and the next morning they'll wake up like upset that they were out of control the night before. They had to go at each other, or they went to bed crying. Hey man, we got a fresh 24. Fresh 24. Let's go again. You know, like don't worry about spilling the milk on the last possession or fumbling the ball on the last possession. Get back on defense.
I couldn't agree more. Passion for sport and doing things that are outside of work brings so much joy to people and purpose.
So Kate, you're coming to a Phoenix game. I'll get you there. We play United in a couple of weeks. Let me see if I can free up some tickets to get you and the family along. Another great episode. Matt's phenomenal. Kendrick Nunn, who used to play for the Lakers actually and the Miami Heat. No relation, but another amazing basketballer.
Amazing.
All right, guys. Thanks for this one.